we are back with our 1d3, 1d6 series, and let's see what we'll get. All right. Nice chain. I don't think it matters too much with the move order for the first couple moves here. I've been expecting d4. There's our picture. And I want to come back to this type of position with b6. I think that's going to be good. All right, let's go rook e8. We're kind of covering the pawn. Okay, that helps us quite a lot because it defines the structure. I'm going to go here. That's going to block the eye of the bishop. Now I'm going to go b5, so my queen has a good square. Activates the bishop. Just for safety, making sure lady's okay there. Eventually my knight can come to b6, but this is a flexible position since the opponent gave us this kind of locked pawn structure. Now, this rook isn't doing anything. I'm happy to see some trades, and if not, I'll take and then go rook c8 because there's only one open file for us to utilize. f4 is a move they normally want to play, but with my queen here, it's not happening. b4 would give him knight c4, and I don't want to allow that. So we're going to go straight away. And then rook c8. If queen e2, what to do? All right, b4 is becoming more of a problem for him. There's some tactics involved. Knight c4, rook takes c4, and if here knight c4 is rook takes c4, and I'll take the knight on a4. And this is a very good imbalance for us. With a lock position, the minor pieces are much stronger. This rook can't do much. Potentially good move for my opponent. I'm going to keep it closed. Hard for white to do too much here. Looks good, covers the pawn, hits another weakness. I could have taken here, but I didn't want to allow rook c1. Okay. Safe enough. Starting to get a lot of pawns. No. And we'd be okay anyway, but no. Do not be afraid of imbalances. Imbalances are your friend. All right, since he's getting tied up, slow improvement. Queen c2 is also a move in some of these lines. I'm not worried about that. I could have taken on g5 right then. That would have been stronger. But I don't see anything coming of this for white. Just time wasted. Bishop f5 is now an idea where there's no weaknesses anywhere. Go here. hitting the bishop. And that looks good enough. And I know what you're thinking. That's not nice. It really wasn't. All right. So let's get back to our picture. So we've got our picture for the series. Now, again, that's where I stop and think. And I thought to myself, I want to play the b6 and bishop b7, but as soon as he goes d5, he's locked the center. And as he's locked the center, normally in these situations, like if his knight was already on c3 and he played this, I would not want to take. And this is an interesting imbalance, so let me give an extra move here. Because what white gets in this situation is a backwards pawn to play against forever that I can't push. He'll move the bishop out of the way, he'll bring the knight in, and this often happens in the Sicilian Najdorf pawn structure, where you want with black for white to capture with a pawn because it's in fact going to protect your backwards pawn on d6. But if you capture and it creates that hole that white can fill with a piece, no bueno. So keep that in mind. And as soon as I saw this, I'm like, okay, I don't like the fact that my queen is on this open file. And I still need to develop this bishop. b5, and let's see how bad the engine hated these types of ideas. Okay, b5 was first choice. I don't feel as bad. And a5 it liked more. It likes queen b8. And more than likely it likes queen b8 because it wants to follow up with knight there and really apply some pressure. But it doesn't absolutely hate these moves. And after b4, if my opponent doesn't blunder here, I mean, it's saying that the best move is rook a1. I've got bishop a6, and it's pretty straightforward play. I can, in fact, even do this type of thing. But, yeah, knight c4 gives peace in hand. And b3, bishop d8, I didn't consider, but makes a lot of sense. And queen c2 it liked for multiple moves, but it doesn't affect much in the position because there's really nothing but empty threats. And it looks menacing, white's pushing pawns in front of our king, but there's no coordination. The bishops aren't really bishops in this position. His queen doesn't have targets, therefore it's not very good. And b2. And I did this to force trades as time trouble starting to pop up. And I was fishing for that. Mate in 5. Yeah, I'm definitely not looking for mate in 5 with 14 seconds. I should just take the bishop here, but I was looking for heavies to mate with, and with lots of pieces, mate would follow quite quickly. And with 11 seconds, as we've seen in the past in my videos, that's more than enough time for me to find mate in this type of position. All right, let's get another one on this video, and let's crank up the rating a little bit so that way we'll see if we can't get to 1600 and break that. You know what, I'm going to go e4 and see if my opponent likes endgames, which he does. And we're going to get our ideal structure again. And king is safe. Okay, so I probably should have played bishop e3 first. So I'm going to go here instead. I actually don't want to take there. Let's keep an eye on that. Okay, now I'm threatening e5. Bishop c4 would have been terrible, as he could play rook takes. Here, we'll go knight b3. Interesting position. I feel like my opponent got the better of it with the extra time. Yeah, we don't do takebacks. How about I give you a different move? What? Oh, I guess it's like that then. And we did make 1600, so we'll play another one. All right, we got our ideal structure, but how could we have done better? And yeah, bishop e3. Yeah, just stop bishop c5. Because it was unnecessary for me to play king c2. And I didn't like the idea of capturing here. The engine may say it's fine, but I'm struggling with development. It gives the opponent the bishop pair. He can play f5 to change the structure. There was a lot of things that I didn't see as I wanted. And you say, okay, well, I can get rid of the bishop pair here. I was still nervous about this type of idea. I didn't see g4 being good, and h5 can be played. It's fine, but I don't know. My judgment call at the time did not recommend it. It recommended keeping tension. And yeah, I figured that was the best move here. And I had looked at this line where I thought I was going to be okay. I was thinking, what happens if it takes? Yeah. Because the rook is covering the back rank, I have time to get this knight out, and this is fine. But when he went there, there's really no reason to resign here. That's very premature. I was just going to play knight e2, honestly, and just be like, okay, it's a game. Again, that exchange structure is important to know, as it can happen in so many of these variations, and if you like endgames, it's definitely good endgame practice, as this one's going to get us over 1600, so we'll cap the video on this one. All right, we could definitely go g3, bishop g2. That would get into King's Indian attack territory, but we're just going to go with the solid universal system we're working on with bishop e2. Oh, closed center. We got a brand new plan, folks. I've been looking forward to this. All right, so with a pawn there, already got one knight hitting. Let's get the other one working. Give me some f6. No. This is no good for you, because pawns are tasty. Too many moves by my opponent in the opening as well. All right. I want to fight for this because I don't like him getting c4 in some lines. All right, so we shut that noise down. The center's locked. We lock the queen side. We play on the king side. We win the game. So let's see how we do it. I want the knight out of the way. So normally you go knight e1, but since I've secured this beautiful c4 square, let's go ahead and jockey for that. You going for the big one, sir? Yeah, you are. Figured that was going to happen. Let's just go some f4. I want it all. So many good moves here. All right, I'm going to keep tension. Leave him with more options to go wrong. Okay. Like I said, keep tension. More options to go wrong. When you can't decide, keep tension. All right, and it worked out. As now, we improved our position, won some material, and our opponent is still getting kicked about a bit. It's good. Go away. No. Stop trying to, like, basic checkmate stuff. No. That's a bad. All right. With the in-between moves. That's so annoying with a pawn there if he takes. And if he doesn't take, what does he do? Much pain. Let's use some of our solid kiss principle, shall we? Seems like a good time to put that there. Looking for a lift. Oh man, you got to care about your bishops more than that. That's not going to do. We'll keep an eye on that guy. And that one. Flexible. It's not so much about the pawns as I'm looking to trap and checkmate the king. Pawns are good. And we'll definitely look through this line in a bit more detail at the end, because it's a structure I've been wanting us to get to as it falls more under old Indian theory. And there's that mate I was looking for. Okay. So, our opponent got more of a queen pawn system when he decided to do this. And this is important to understand structurally, because when we've got a closed position, you're typically playing on the wings. So as our opponent played e5, the general plan in this structure mimics that of the King's Indian defense. When the center is locked, it points like an arrow to where he should be playing. Those are the break squares, f4 and c4. c4 is the break square for black. So moves like b5 and c4 eventually are the long-term plan. And for white, we want to play f4. So I start off with knight c4, planting a knight on the square. I was expecting f6, and then I'm going to go a4, a very important move, prophylaxis against the long-term plan for black, which is b5. Then I expected to see something like bishop e6. I say, okay, I'm going to cement this knight. Then they go, all right, this is my bad bishop. Do you want to take my bad bishop with your knight that's well posted? I didn't want to trade my good bishop. Would you like the other one? I say no, and then I get on with my plan. So knight h4 is an idea, but that could encourage g5. I'm not so sure about that. I'd probably go knight e1, knight e7, g3, castles, knight. And here, castles is inaccurate. You want to go queen d7. And I don't think it matters much here. As the queen and bishop stops bishop g4. Why is bishop g4 a good move for white? Because that's our bad bishop. We want to trade our bad bishop off in the position. So here, I could definitely look at taking and then going bishop g4. So that's probably best. And then as we get this type of position, we're following up with f4. The knight generally goes to g2. We see with this remaining bishop, It's going to be helpful for the attack, especially if it can come to f6 in some lines. We have dramatically slowed down what black is supposed to be doing, and our attack is just getting rolling on the king side. Knight g2, knight h4, knight f5, get the rooks involved, bishop say on d2. You have a lot of flexibility, but the point is we have a king side attack, and that's what you should be focusing on from this structure. Hopefully by the end of the series we can get a full game that plays out something like this, but I hit a lot of the main ideas, structurally in the position, so you should be good to go with more often the old Indian than Fildor, but you do have these overlaps. The structure's the same, the plans will be the same generally, and there's a few different plans to choose from. Mix and match.